such a strange thing. There'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. Just put one foot in front of the other. You control what you can't control. And then you see what the outcome is. If you win, great. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway.
Financial freedom through real estate is possible. I think that we all can believe that, or all do believe that. I don't know why you would be watching this if you don't believe that financial freedom, just the premise, just the thought of financial freedom through real estate is possible. But the bigger step is financial freedom through real estate is possible for you, right? The only thing that would stop you from becoming financially free through real estate is self-doubt. Self-doubt, that's the only thing. That's the only thing. And I will never understand why people would put judgment in front of effort. Put unproven opinions in front of a willingness to try. That's all this is about, right? It is big goals. Matt, will you pull up that graphic we just put together this morning? Big goals, big models, big success. That's just the fact. You have big goals. I know that you have big goals, right? So you need to follow a model. Because if you don't have a model, it's like trying to put together like the Titanic, right? Like out of Legos. And then you don't have instructions. Or worse yet, you have instructions, but then you start switching out the instructions with different things, right? You have to pick a model and you have to focus. You can go back to any of the big business thinkers, any of them, and they will tell you that focus is the number one skill. Focus. So focus in on the absolute best models and you can be successful. And it's not just what's happening now. It's not just what are the models that if the market changes, if the economy changes, all of a sudden those models don't work anymore, right? What are the fundamental models that you can implement into your real estate business to be able to hit the goals that you have and get to the success that you know you can? And destroy all of the self-doubt. Self-doubt is destroyed through modeling. If somebody else has already done it, so can you. And then it's all about actions. Actions precede feelings, just like Bob Berg told us on the last show, which is absolutely incredible, right? We take action. We don't wait around until we feel like it. If we waited around until we felt like doing stuff, we wouldn't do anything. Because everything financially is on the other side of fear. Everything financially is on the other side of growth, of change. And that hurts. It challenges every bit of it, every part of it. So when I go through these schedules, when I break down the part-time schedule and the full-time schedule, some of it is there's going to be a reaction in your mind. You're going to be kind of like, I don't know if I can do that. Let me see if I can outsource that. Let me see if I can get other people to do that. You're just pushing back the finish line. You're just pushing it further and further back. Unless you have incredible financial resources, do this work yourself. Follow this model because this model is going to make you bulletproof in good economies, good market, bad market, inflation, deflation, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. But you will be powerful because no one knows your financial potential. Nobody does. So why would you put any limits on it? Why wouldn't you go out there and build the skills that are required to really model something that works and works every single time? Woo! We're off to a fast start here in this new format. I absolutely love it. Let's pull up the schedules, and then we'll get to Mike and Raphael, and we'll open this thing up to questions and celebrations and everything else. But let's look at this first. Let's look at the perfect part-time schedule here. Okay? Listen to me here. Perfect part-time schedule so that you can get to a full-time business in the next 90 days. You have to follow this model. 15 hours of lead generation every single week. I need 20 hours out of you. I need 20 hours every single week that you can commit to this business. All right? 15 hours of it has to be lead generation. You got to be hunting for opportunities all the time. I want 10 hours, and I want you to write this down or take a screenshot of this, whatever you need to do, put it in your notes. 10 hours, direct to seller. 5 hours, either on market properties or you're calling agents and looking to build your referral database. Okay? 10 and 5. 2/3 of it go directly to ugly properties. Ugly houses, big checks. The other 5 is building your network of people that will refer you deals and or that are on the market. 1 hour of practice and role play. Build the skills. There's going to be certain things that people throw at you. I want you to write them down. I want you to screw it all up. I want people to throw something at you. How long have you been in business? How many deals have you done? What are you going to offer me? Did you see a sign in my front yard? Who told you I wanted to sell my house? All of these things that are going to come at you, I want you to write them down, and then I want you to come up with 2 responses. 2 responses that you can go to so that you feel prepared to answer anybody's question. Because the more prepared you feel, the more confident. The more confident, the more that you're going to go out there, and it's going to be unconscious. It's going to be unconscious, you going out there and making a tremendous impact in your marketplace, in your area, in your city. Okay? Next is 1 hour lead follow-up. Make sure that you're not just hunting, you're also gathering. 1 hour driving for dollars. Go out there and find the ugliest houses in your marketplace. Even if your marketplace is super competitive, even if you're in these big time markets, build your driving for dollars. And then 2 hours for appointments. And if you don't have appointments, then I want you finding more ugly houses, and I want you doing more lead follow-up. That's it. Simple plan. The toughest part is it's going to take you 90 days. The toughest part is going to be who is surrounding you. What is your community? What is your community and your model? That's step number 1, community and model. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is do your first deal. Faith to fact, baby, right? Third, get consistent so that you can fire your boss forever. Fourth, build an actual business that you can start firing yourself from more of the roles each and every month, and so that it's run mostly by other people. And then the 5th one is when you actually go and you actually invest in properties, in assets. But I'm telling you, if you don't follow this model, it's going to be all over the place. You're going to be taking instructions from all different types of things, and you're going to get nowhere. That's the frustration that people have. That's the reason people throw their hands up and they say, other people can do it, but I can't do it. The self-doubt creeps in when you change from model to model to model to model. Stop it. Just follow this. It is guaranteed. It is guaranteed that you will be successful. And then you go to the full-time, and this is when it gets really exciting. The full-time schedule is right here. Practice and role play, right at 8:30 to 9. You're getting warmed up. You're getting fired up. You're sharpening the axe. Sharpening the axe. You know that old story about the old lumberjack that spent so much time sharpening his axe and he cut down twice as many trees as the young guy that just went bananas, right? 9 to noon, lead generation. 15-minute lunch. Stop messing around at lunch. People want to take these 90-minute contemplative lunches. Stop it. Eat for 15 minutes. Get done. Fuel up. Be done. 12:15 to 1 o'clock is lead follow-up. That's when you're doing all you're just setting your afternoon up. The morning is for finding deals. The afternoon is for doing deals. And from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock is additional lead follow-up, driving for dollars, seller appointments, and cash buyer negotiations. That's where you're selling your deals. And there you go. There is the perfect schedule. And then all of a sudden, once you really start getting that in and you stay focused on that model and not try to just, well, I like what he said there, but I don't want to do it over here and don't want to do what it is over here, you're going to fall off. You're going to fall off. Do not pass this through the filter of your own experience. Don't. I'm just telling you. And I know I've done it so much myself. I've been so uncoachable in so many different ways. And then when I actually go and do the things that the models, follow the model that people lay out for me, all of a sudden it works. And I should have been doing it the whole time. But I'm filtering it through my own experience. And it's not reliable. It's just not reliable. It's just not, unproven opinions are not reliable. So knock it off. Just follow the path, follow the model, and you will be wildly successful. And that's what I want. I want to ring the victory bell for you. I want to celebrate your success. I want you to go out there and make a true difference in your marketplace, in your family's financial future. So just model it. It's all there. Don't recreate it. Welcome. Welcome to Wholesaling Inc. Live. I am Brent Daniels. I am joined by the incredible Rafael Cortez, Mike Mahoney. We've got kind of a new format. We're sitting down. We're answering questions. Hopefully you like it. Let us know in the comments. But listen, we're here for a few things, right? We're here, 1, to give instruction. 2, to answer the questions that you have that you're dealing with in your business. 3, I want you to squad up in the comments section. So make sure everybody knows what city you do business in. And number 4, we want to celebrate your success. We want to ring the victory bell. We want to recognize you for going out there and doing amazing things in the real estate community. So I don't care if it's a small win. I don't care if it's a huge win. I don't care if you've closed a massive deal or you just called a seller for the very first time or went network for the very first time. Put it in the comments section so we can celebrate you. Let's crack this thing open, huh, guys? Models.
Absolutely, man. I love. First off, I love the setup.
Okay.
I like this.
Good.
A lot more relaxed. I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to models, and just trying to build up a little bit because I think it's important. We often focus on what is, right? What is going on around our lives right now, and get limited by that. Mm-hmm. Or we focused on what was, what happened last week, what happened last year, what happened over the last 10 years with my life. Or we focus on what others, potential or ideal potential of us is, right? Mm-hmm. And if a model is right there and you follow that model,
yeah,
it gets rid of all that stuff. So,
well, Mike, we've been working on this a lot.
Yeah.
We've been working on this a tremendous amount to trim out any kind of fat that we experience in my business. Yep. Over 7 figures, wildly profitable, run by 4 people. We're looking at anything that is not something that can survive when the market shifts. And it all comes back down to putting a high focus on lead generation, putting a high focus on staying absolutely on the path of wholesaling almost every single property, and just building up a big, healthy, heavy bank account. And that's what we've been trimming anything else out that it's just like shiny objects.
Yeah.
I just want to add, you were talking about, doing all this stuff yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So we don't coach people to do that, right, to make their life more difficult. Really what it does is doing all these things in the beginning, whether it's the lead generation, the lead follow-up, the going on the appointments, right? It prepares you, it helps you build the skills to when you're ready to start scaling your business, which is in part about recruiting, training, managing people. Mm-hmm. It allows you to be a better leader, right? So, but you have to do all that first and for a while, so that when you get there and you're ready to start scaling, you've got the chops to be able to do that, right? Also, I just want to mention this. I thought this was cool. I read the other day, it was Gary Keller in one of his books. He was talking about how you always want to just consistently be lead generating. And he had the analogy, I think, of the shark, where the shark has to always be swimming. Mm-hmm. As soon as it stops swimming, it dies.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I thought that was cool.
Yep. So let's crack this open. Vicente, hey Brent, what do you do personally to not get caught up with distractions in life and in business, being at the level that you are right now? I love this question. It is all, it's all my schedule. It's all routine. It's all time blocking when it's time to do different things in the business. So distractions come up when I'm trying to switch, when I'm trying to get out of the model, when I'm trying to figure out, what's the new craziest way to find great opportunities, and then all of a sudden there's something, right? It was like, first it was a direct mail. Oh my gosh, direct mail, that works so good. And then it didn't. And then it was like, we're going to do text blasting. Oh, that's so crazy. You could just text blast over. And then that, dwindled down, right? And then it was like pay-per-click leads, and yeah, that'll work. This, you know what I mean? It's always chasing something. So I think that if you just stick to staying focused, and the biggest one I think in our business is people that want to do it all. Hey, I want to go wholesale. I want to build a good wholesaling business, but I also want to build a rental portfolio, and I also want to flip properties all at the same time. And if you don't build the foundation of your wholesaling business first, somebody like Luke Rothfold builds a successful wholesaling business first. Now he's developing. Now he's fixing and flipping. Now he's lending money. All of these things. But he did for 5 years. He built his wholesaling business and stayed focused. So that's the biggest thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to factor into the personal habits, right? Like, for example, for me, if it's not in the schedule, it's not happening.
Yep.
When you're talking about time blocking, and it's silly, man. I've had to send my Calendly to good friends of mine, right? And I feel so stupid, and I feel like it's like it almost feels off, right? But if it's not in the schedule, like it's not happening. So how well are you respecting your own, your own space, your own boundaries, and by that your own focus, right? So
Got to stay prioritized, got to focus, and got to learn to say no to stuff.
yeah.
Well, and understand, we go through this, right? It's not time management. It's not priority management. It's not energy management. It is attention management. It is absolutely attention management. And so where are you putting your attention, Vicente? And if your attention is always going towards education as opposed to action or instruction, you're going to be in the education loop. It's just creative avoidance in your business, in your life, because it makes you feel good to be educated and it feels good to get the information. But if you're not going to actually implement the education, then how do you know what your financial potential is?
Right.
Action before feelings.
You were talking about models.
Yep.
Pick one.
Yep.
And stick with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Randy asked, Brent, who are your 4 all-stars and what are their roles? Randy, you know them. First of all, it is, I've got Jackie, who is my lead manager. She's my operator. I've got Jeremy, who is my disposition manager. And so he builds the cash buyer database, sells all of our deals, comps all of our deals, and pulls all of our lists of properties to go after because he knows what the buyers are looking for. And that's a huge benefit. And then I've got an acquisition manager, Ryan, who's our closer. And then I got a junior acquisition manager, Chad, who is doing lead follow-up every single day. He does lead follow-up 8 hours a day in front of a few dozen people every single week in our Zoom calls with the Rhino tribe. It's absolutely incredible. And so that's the 4 roles that we have. And that's what keeps the business really profitable and keeps the turnover from being really high. Is they know that we're gonna work them like they're three people, 3 acquisition managers, but we're gonna pay them like they're 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody in my business makes over 6 figures. Everybody.
I just want to add this in with a question, Brent. So in our community, we coach on there's 7 levels of scaling your business, right?
Yep.
So level 1 is just you. You're a solopreneur,
Yep.
right? Level 2, when you're ready, you get a VA to take on some of the admin stuff. Level 3, we start to outsource marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now at level 4, 5, 6, 7, in what order do you hire those 4 key players?
Well, listen, off the bat, you need to make sure that so first of all, lead generation is what you're going to replace yourself with first, right? You're going to start getting leads coming in from people that are going to be full-time making the calls, right? So you're going to start firing yourself. And then you get a junior acquisition manager. And that junior acquisition manager is somebody that's going to warm up all your leads so that you're not spending all your time on the phone with unqualified leads or trying to warm them up.
So that's level 4.
Yep.
Junior acquisition, then what?
Yep, and then you got an acquisition manager, so you
5.
replace yourself there.
Yep.
And then you've got your disposition manager, and then your lead manager, and with your. Really, the last thing that you want to give up is dispo,
Yeah.
right? Because that is you're working with your cash buyers, you're building those relationships, you're making sure you understand what you're doing, so you can instruct your lead manager on how to manage the leads and stay organized, and then you replace yourself from the disposition manager, which is fantastic, and then you're working on the business, not in it.
So level 6 is your leads manager, level 7 disposition manager, and finally now you're at the 5th stage of your business, which is you can focus on buying assets while your team
That's right.
runs most of your wholesale.
That's right.
business.
That's the model.
Nothing slows down. One quick question: how far does your junior acquisition rep go when they're warming up leads? Yeah.
They take it all the way to the point to appointment, to where if somebody's ready to sign a contract, they're ready to make a decision in the next week or two, it goes to Ryan. And Ryan gets them closed, does all the upfront agreements, all the things to get away, to remove all of the obstacles, to remove all of the objections, to be like, okay, if the terms make sense and the price makes sense and you want to do business with us, is there anything stopping you from moving forward with us when I come on the appointment tomorrow at 2:00?
Yeah. So they don't drop a number. Junior acquisition.
Junior acquisition is all about lead follow-up and pre-qualifying
Nurturing,
and
yeah.
setting
They're
the
pulling.
appointment. Yeah.
They're pulling. They might drop a number, but in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
It looks like your neighbors similar to your property, that are similar size, similar condition, are selling for around this price. Is that what you were thinking? Yes, no, you're crazy, spot on, whatever it is. Okay, great. And then what's the timeline? When can we get you your money? When, you know what I mean? Have you already made the decision? Are you ready to move forward and sell the property? If we can get you an offer and close on this in the next 30 days, are you ready for that? Yes. Boom.
Makes sense.
10K assignment locked up, ready to close. Come on. Wow! We got to get you a ukulele.
Yeah.
We got to get you a
it's gonna
ukulele.
be-
It's going to be tough with a full-size guitar there.
my guitar?
Huh?
Should I get the electric
Yeah,
Yes.
get the electric guitar.
look at that.
Yeah, get the electric
it.
guitar. There you go. Smokey, Brent, is there a part-time schedule for military people? Same schedule. You got to find 20 hours, Smokey. You got to find 20 hours. You got to find the 20 hours because if not, it'll just take longer. And so you need to figure out when you can, based on your schedule, because I know a lot of the people that we work with that are in the military, active in the military, they can't have their phones on them, right? They can't have their phones on them for their whole shift. And so that's why being proactive is almost the only way that you can do this business while you're active military, because you have the conversations on your schedule. So the times that you're off, you time block to make those calls, to find those leads and do the lead follow-up, and that's how you win. If you're trying to do marketing and people calling you and you can't answer it and respond, then you're going to have problems because they're going to call somebody else. So what are you going to do? You're going to spend a bunch of money on marketing and not be able to timely respond to them or answer them live. So you got to be proactive. You got to pick up the phone. And people people are like, well, you know what? It's a blue ocean of leads over here if you do this marketing technique, or if you go on market deals and do all this stuff. Yeah, you know what? It's a tremendous amount of competition. You know where you don't have a tremendous amount of competition? Direct to property owners, where you're the only one negotiating with that property owner. Because with marketing, let's be honest, with marketing, they're not just calling you. They're calling 4 or 5 other people to get their highest offer for their properties. When it goes on the market, everybody is exposed to that one. Can you get deals on the market? Absolutely. It's part of the schedule. But a bulk of your time, if you want really big, massive deals that'll actually change what your bank account looks like so that you can make the decision to fire your boss, you go directly to the property owner. Now, if you get referrals, that's fantastic. It takes time. It takes time for people to trust to send you referrals. So if you want to get out in the next 90 days and be able to full-time in this business, you have to be wildly proactive. Am I missing anything?
Do you remember when Tariq Baylor, one of our great tribe members?
Yep.
So he used to make calls out of the barracks, right? He's in the military out in Florida.
Yep.
He popped like a 40K deal
Yeah.
early on.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things, right? You can't just, and I agree with you when it comes to marketing. When for example, pay-per-click or something that we kind of want to set it and forget it.
Yep.
At the beginning, I don't think it works out that well. One, because it's costly. Two, they're clicking around, especially if you have something else going on. They're gonna click around on 2 or 3 other websites, and those people are gonna call them within the next 30 seconds, right? When as opposed to if you're actually going out there and hunting for the leads and reaching out directly to the seller right there and then, you have the ability to connect with them.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean it's no magic pill, right? It's proactive.
So basically, if you got a job, you got to focus on outbound marketing and being proactive, because if you're doing inbound marketing, paid marketing, I mean, if you're not right there, Johnny, on the spot,
somebody has
when
to
they come
sit
in,
there while
you're
it's
toast.
happening. Yeah.
Chris, come on. Chris, hey, Brent, got 3 deals locked up in escrow for January. Let's go. TTP.
Ooh, we got a rhino and all. You almost got ran over by the rhino.
Let's see how many times I can stand up during the show. It's
You get
fantastic.
those hot licks.
Yeah, I love those.
tasty
The
licks.
tasty licks. Fazan, Brent, I'm trying my best to stick to the schedule, but how to stay motivated after 2 to 3 weeks of not getting results? This is where step 1 comes in, and this is absolutely critical. Community. Community smushed together with a model that works, that's step number 1. So you got the model. You're taking action. You're going for 2 to 3 weeks. Like, I was watching this TikTok, and they're like, let me destroy your thoughts on getting no's, right? Like people telling you no.
Yeah.
And he's like, what if you were 23 no's away from being a billionaire? Would you go and try to get as many no's as possible, as fast as possible? Absolutely.
Did you get excited? Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
You would be like, oh my gosh, it's 1 no. I got 22 more to go. You know what I mean? You know, so you've got 199 no's to get to that 1 yes. It's 1 out of 200. Now, if you're calling agents, it's 1 out of 300. And that's coming straight from Jamil Damji. He's the expert at it, right? 1 to 300 with agents, 1 to 200 direct to property owners that are in a distressed situation, right? Either the property is in distress, right? It's just run down. They're in financial distress or emotional distress, right? And they want to trade potential equity, and they want to trade price for speed and convenience. Matt, can we pull that up? The speed, convenience, and price again one more time, just so that everybody knows. But listen to me. Stick with it. Show up here every Wednesday. Show up here every Monday for Wholesale Hotline. Find people in this business. Squad up in the comments section. Find somebody that's going to support you. If you've been proactive for 2 to 3 weeks, people be around him. Because this is somebody that is going places. This is somebody that is going to be wildly successful in this business. Just keep it going. It's when you try to do it alone that you get crushed. It's when you don't have a community.
Also for Fawzan, it's easy to count the no's as we're going through this process too. Mm-hmm. But ask yourself the question, what does a win look like, right? What does a result look like? If you got a follow-up with somebody who you're talking to next week, that's a win, right? That's a result. That's a degree of result. So there's things that compound as you're going through the process. Sometimes that compounding effect takes a while, right? It may take, I don't know. I know people, it's taken them months, right, to get deals.
Yep.
But it happens. You're already walking in that direction. But ask yourself if you want to, if you want to perk up your emotional, your energy as you're going through this process, what does a result look like? What does a win look like, right? And then start counting those. It's easy to count the losses, but sometimes we forget about the wins, right?
Yep.
So keep that in mind, yeah.
So really plugging into a community, I would say getting a mentor as well is what will keep you accountable, right? Help you stay motivated, help pull you to the next stage of the business, which is getting that first deal done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep, critical.
There it is. Sellers only get 2, speed, convenience, or price. If they want speed and convenience, it's wholesale. If they want speed and price, it's probably creative or just listing it on the market. And if they want convenience and price, it'll be something like an ovation. So there you go. Gordon, hey Brent, if I squat up with people in my area, why aren't I eliminating potential deals for myself? Because listen, 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress, Gordon. So, just look at a regular market. Let's just say you have 100,000 houses in your market, which is a smaller market, truly.
Yeah.
We have 1.6 million in Phoenix. So let's say there's 100,000. That means that 6 to 10,000 houses at all times are in distress. I promise you, Gordon, there's not 6 to 10,000 wholesalers in that market that are going after the same deals. There are more. It is a conveyor belt of deals. There's just more deals than there are people going after these opportunities. And so you need help in the beginning. You need to squat up in the beginning. You need people that are doing this business. You can't be an island by yourself, or all of a sudden you're just any kind of challenge that comes up becomes huge, and then all of a sudden it stops you from really taking action.
One of the things that really kind of shifted my thinking on that was the concept of who, not how.
Yeah.
And we've broken down multiple times on the show before, but it's who can you team up with not necessarily how can you build, you know, a 1,000 cash buyer list, you know, in 2 days, right? But who already has it that I can tap into and really collaborate. It really changes the mindset from that scarcity, you know, mindset to that opportunity mindset. And I mean, that's a game changer when
Yep.
you're in this space, man. I mean,
So
we
through
do
it,
that all the time. Yeah.
We know a lot of these successful wholesalers. We know a lot of them,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And they have certain things in common. One of the things they all have in common is when it comes to deals, they all have just an abundant deal mindset.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's more to go around than could be had.
100%.
Yeah.
Alan, been doing agent outreach, hand dialing for 2 months. Have 2 sub-2s in contract. Awesome. Should I switch to direct to seller with a dialer? I feel like I'm not getting much traction. Lack of experience sucks. Well, you listen, lack of experience is an easy remedy. Just do a lot of work, and then you have the experience. So that's something you have to earn. You can't buy experience, right? And so I love that you're doing agent outreach and you've got some sub-2s in contract. I'd love for you to assign those sub-2s so that you can get the income coming in and build your business before you start taking down properties and building your portfolio. It goes a lot better if you do it that way. I absolutely think that you should be calling direct to seller. Absolutely. And if you want to do it the quickest way, it's with a dialer. We use Mojo Dialer. It's fantastic. We upload the list. Boom. We're off and running. We're calling. So, but the fact that you've already got 2 deals is fantastic. Let's celebrate that. First of all, come on. Awesome, Alan.
Good stuff.
Vicente, has Rafael mentioned before that he uses Ready Mode as a dialer?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Why do you like Ready Mode?
The deliverability rates are good. There's not, I mean, downtime is, we haven't had any issues with downtime or phone numbers and stuff like that. We have to come in and then swap out numbers every couple of weeks, but we have 30 numbers per seat. And we cycle through those, so it keeps them relatively healthy. The user interface is not as sexy as Mojo, I can tell you that much. So if you're going in there, it looks a lot prettier in Mojo, and it's probably a lot easier to just kind of read from a glance. But the functionality of it is solid. Yeah.
Nathaniel, how are you guys finding the best markets, and how would you do this as a beginner? Well, those are 2 very big, very broad questions. Do you have an answer for market?
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now we're actually looking at a couple of different markets that we want to tap into, and the simplest, fastest way to find out whether or not a market is sustainable or healthy, we'll look for something that has over 250,000. In population.
Yes.
So you're relatively bigger markets, right?
Yep.
Right. And then we have that, and we'll look for a 15% cash buyer ratio at least.
What does that mean?
So if you have 100,000 people in your market, I mean, you got to have at least 15,000 cash buyers in the market.
How do you find that?
The way that we do it is we go to batch leads.
Okay.
Batch leads, the lists are already in there, and we don't break down filters and stuff like that.
Do we have a website yet for that, Andra?
So go to batch leads. You can drop in, I don't know, Miami or Tampa or whatever you're looking at, right? The entire city will pop up. It'll give you records of everything, and then at the bottom you have special filters. So you're gonna see, for example, absentee owners. You're gonna see a big count there, and the overall count of the records on the top right. But at the bottom you have a filter in there that says cash buyers. So super simple. All you do is drop a city in there, look at the count, and then look at the amount of cash buyers that you have in the area. So it's honestly one of the fastest
15%.
ways. Yeah, we look for 15%, and
That's
then
incredible.
we know that we can make something work, right?
Where'd you get that number from? Because I agree, you got to go where the cash buyers are, but where'd that 15% number?
Just trial and error. I mean, we're looking at population first without having any correlation with cash buyers.
Nice.
And then we'll look for a 5%, but the cash buyer list. And what we do is we'll drop campaigns specifically for cash buyers, but the responses weren't quite there. So if you have something at least 15% in cash buyers, we've seen a higher level of response on there. So
Nice.
yeah, that to us works well, and it's super easy.
And as a beginner, follow this model, follow this schedule. This is going to be good. One more time, Matt, will you put up the part-time and full-time We'll just flash it for a couple seconds, and then we're going to ring this victory bell until it breaks.
Juicy deal.
All right, perfect part-time schedule right there. There's the model to follow. And perfect full-time schedule.
Dude, he put up 7
Boom.
bananas.
He put up seven bananas. It deserves 7 bananas, Derek. Sold a seller finance deal for a $75K deal, $75K fee. Wow. It's bananas over here.
Let's
1,
go.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bananas.
Bam.
Oh, that's good. 7 bananas.
Oh yeah. Must have been terms and equity on that deal. So.
Oh yeah, it must have been a smoking deal, Derek. Congratulations.
Great job, Derek.
That pumps me up. That is absolutely that's exciting. I love massive deals.
Yeah.
You guys know I love massive deals.
Yeah.
All right. Cristobal, hi Brent. Where do you suggest we pull the list to start calling potential leads, and what filters do you suggest to use in order to get the most out of that list? Cristobal, on this channel, if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe. We have a ton of different lists that different videos breaking down the criteria for the lists. So definitely check that out. Not yet. Wait until after the show. But batch leads. You can pull them from batch leads. And again, that's we'll put the ticker on there, Matt. You can go there and they really take care of you if you use the if you use this link. Otherwise, it just kind of goes into oblivion with them. So use that link so that you get like the extra special white glove treatment, Cristobal. There you go. Paul, Brent, how many marketing channels do you start with? 1. Look at this. That was fast. All of us. One. Go deep. One marketing channel. One of them. Go bananas. And I highly suggest you use this thing, which is the remote control of society, which is your portal to as much income as you want. Pick it up and make the calls. Be super proactive. And I would call again 10 hours a week. If you're doing it part-time, I would do 10 hours a week of well, it's really for both part-time and full-time, but 10 hours a week calling direct to seller and 5 hours a week calling agents with either on-market properties or that work with real estate investors. Right?
And as soon as you can, roll out a power dialer. I mean, that's going to save you. You do 3 times as much with, a very short amount of time.
That's right. Claudio, would you fly into a city if you had a hot lead and a great opportunity with the seller to get a deal done? As in 10 out of 10, it's going down if you fly in. Absolutely. Yeah. You better have the advanced agreements. Yeah. And I would be really interested to know why you would have to fly into town and why you couldn't just send a mobile notary to lock up that deal, or squad up with somebody that is in the business that you trust that can go there. But if they won't do business, if they're like old school, like, we need to shake hands on this before we get this deal done.
I need to look at you in the eyes,
I need
Brent.
to see into your soul, son, before you get this deal here. Then sure. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I've never experienced that, but I think it'd be kind of fun and exciting and a great story to tell. So, part of life is all about the stories we get to tell. So why not? Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you guys are looking for any downloads, any breakdowns, we have the schedule in PDF in there. We've got cash buyer packs. We've got training on how to get your first deal. We've got all sorts of incredible resources and tools at wholesalinginc.com. And if you go to the academy, you can get all those downloads. It's absolutely bananas how much we put in there. So definitely check that out. Skate VX 2000. Brent, I'm at my job right now. Ooh. I put in 2 weeks, and my last day is on Friday. I am full-time wholesaling. Come on.
Let's go.
Let the good times roll, baby. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that politician that used to do that? Yeah. We're going to the White House. Yeah. What was that guy's name? I don't know. I don't remember. Matt, do you know? I don't know. BG Boosted. Hey, Brent and team, what's a good opening line for door knocking, and should I dress up like a salesperson or just regular clothes in the rough part of Oakland? I would wear a polo of some sort. Doesn't matter. I'd probably get like like an Under Armour polo or something. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy.
Probably a good idea too because you're out there all day. So
yeah, just be presentable, and you don't have to overthink it. You know, I wanted to stop by. I'm interested in buying properties in the neighborhood, and I just wanted to see, when do you plan on selling this property? Open-ended question. It's you know, and what you do is you knock on the door and then you kind of move yourself away, right? Yeah. If the door's right here, you're not just standing there waiting for them to answer. You kind of angle yourself. You look into the neighborhood, right? You're looking at the other streets, and it's almost when they answer, like, oh, wow, I didn't see you there. Okay, great, fantastic.
You startled me,
so
right?
They look out the door. Your face.
Yeah, your faces. Yeah. So, that's a good opening line for door knocking. There you go.
It also, I think, it depends on, or keep in mind what type of list you're hitting. If it's for example, if you're hitting pre-foreclosure properties or just a distressed property while you're driving for dollars, you know, that sort of thing. The approach, I mean, I've seen people be very aggressive with the approach on pre-foreclosures. To us, we use the same conversation. It's when we've done that, we just open it up with, hey, we're in the area, we're investors in the area. We don't tell them like it's we're
You're
after
in
the
foreclosure.
pre-foreclosure. Yes, you're going to lose your.
What are you going to do about it?
It's not the approach.
Andre,
right,
can
for
we do
us,
a poll on whether they like
So.
the show standing or this format of us sitting? I'm very curious. Sean? I wear reflective jackets to avoid being shot in air. There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
You know, defense. The best defense is a good offense.
He's out there.
Smokey, is there a new fix and flip chart? No, we've got this one. Matt, can you pull that up, bud? The fix and flip, the repair estimator. But basically, I mean, if you want to just do like a broad number, here you go. Here's the fix and flip repair chart. Now, remember, there's an asterisk to this. If anything needs major, this is cosmetic. Okay, guys, if anything mechanical needs to be changed, you need to add $10K each one. The roof, $10K. Pool equipment, $10K. Boiler, $10K. Air conditioner, $10K. You know, all of these things that need $10K. But a rule of thumb, if you just really want to be safe with it, is $40 a square foot. $40 a square foot cosmetic. Now, you could go down. That's probably on the high side in some markets and maybe a little low in some of the, you know, California markets. But $40 a square foot's pretty close. And if you use that repair chart, that'll really get you in a good position. And then you can see anything mechanical is like 10. So if you look one more time, Matt, pull that up. If you look at the wow, this is bad at $60K, that's $40 a square foot. You know what I'm saying? And so there's three main buckets. Easy remodel, you know, it's just kind of carpet and paint. You're just refreshing it. You want it to smell good and look good and feel crispy and new. It's kind of like getting your car detailed. That's the easy, right? Needs work is, you know, you got to go in there and you're putting in more. You're doing some flooring. You're painting some cabinets. You're putting some more countertops. Wow, this is bad. It's a super dated house. To get the most out of it, you're going to have to totally fix it up and bring it up to today's standards, or it's like a total destroyed. I mean, there's just dead animal carcasses and
Which we've seen
trash and all sorts of things. Yeah. And so, you run into that. Or they've smoked like literally a million cigarettes inside with like popcorn ceilings.
The walls
you know what I
brown
mean?
at
And
that point,
everything looks like, you know, you walked in with a filter on, you know, like one of those like orange filters. You're like, oh my gosh, what is happening in this house? You'll run across it.
Yep.
Welcome to the world of wholesaling real estate.
Those are your better deals, by the way. Those are big.
I literally had a really nice cardigan. Really nice. And it had the patches and it had the buttons and they were like tortoiseshell buttons, right? And it had a nice collar, it kept me warm. It was wonderful. Alejandro and I went to this property in Chandler, Arizona that was so nasty that the smell attached to the beautiful merino wool in this cardigan and could not be removed. I dry cleaned it twice, still smelled absolutely terrible, had to throw it away. So if that gives you like a perspective of some of the properties that you're going to run across, Yeah.
We've had
That's
to
a
do
sad story.
hazmat suits.
Oh, yeah.
on some walkthroughs,
Yeah.
just because of the condition. Yeah, hazmat suits.
Yeah, you got to put on like rubber
Yeah.
suits.
Yeah, rubber suits. and
Patricia asked a
trails
great
and all
question.
kinds
When
of
cold
things.
calling, are you leaving voicemails? Typically, we don't if we're using the dialer. If you're hand dialing and it's a very specific list, let's say it's something like probate and it's a smaller list, or it's your driving for dollars list, I don't mind you leaving voicemails because I think that there's going to be some potential. The issue I have is when you're using a dialer, it slows down the process a ton, dropping the voicemails, and then when they call back, it just now you're like, oh, I got to go check all these voicemails, and if you're not having the voicemails transcribed, it takes a long time to listen to all those. So I definitely have all of the numbers transcribed. You can do that easily through CallRail. I think it's 10 cents a voicemail to have it transcribed, and that way you could look easily when they're screaming at you. And telling you terrible things about you and your mom, that you can avoid those people.
Is so ugly. So is the rule that the list has to be small enough so that if they call back, you can
Yes.
pretty quickly see who it is that you called?
Right.
Because if you're leaving voicemails on these big lists,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get swamped with a lot of busy work.
Yeah. Yeah, it just pours molasses on the whole process and slows it down. Zai, any tips for assigning agreements for commercial properties such as restaurants, office buildings, warehouses, etc.? Why would someone be motivated to sell one of these properties? No, let me answer the second one first, and I think that'll plate it up for the answer for the first question. So why would somebody want to be motivated to sell a property? Because they want to. They made the decision. They made the decision that they're going to sell the property for speed and convenience. Okay? It's stress. There's a bazillion. You do not need to get into the psychology of why. You just need to know that they do. Okay? It's our job to figure out why. So to answer the question before you even talk to somebody is pretty much impossible. I mean, you could say, kind of generally why people would want to sell these properties. But for the most part, that's our job to pull their motivation out. Remember, every conversation we have, Matt, can we put the 4 pillars up? Every conversation we have about real estate, the skeleton of that conversation are these 4 things. The condition of the property, their timeline to sell that property, their motivation to sell that property, and their price. All right? You go and find out those 4 things, and you've got a qualified lead. And then, and Raph, you've been working a lot with commercial deals. You got to find people that buy commercial deals. And it's a much smaller pool of buyers. And I highly suggest that you connect with the commercial brokers in your marketplace. You can go on to loopnet.com. You could put in the zip code of the area that you're looking at. You could put in the type of property, whether it be an office building, whether it be a restaurant, whether it be multifamily, whether it be, a strip mall, whatever it is. And you can find the agents that sell those. They have unbelievable lists of buyers.
Yeah, as far as the tips on assignments, I mean, the assignment process is very, very similar as residential. I think the trick comes on the value of the property, right? Because there's on a lot of these, there's value add moves. For example, if they're renting for less than what the property can actually rent for, a buyer is going to see value in that because now they can come in and increase the rents and increase the overall value of the property. They're just priced different, right? I don't want to get into the weeds of that, but as far as assigning the properties, I mean, you can't do just a regular assignment on the deal. I mean, we've done that on tire shops, on mechanic shops, on office spaces. And
Remember, a
stuff like
lot
that.
of commercial properties too. A majority of them are seller finance.
Yeah.
A majority of these deals are seller finance. Banks are real all over the place with commercial loans. So owner finance happens.
There's a lot less emotional attachment to it.
Yeah. Profitable opportunities with the cute baby.
Ooh, I like that.
That's cool. Brent, when working pocket listings, those are agent listings that are off market. They're not on the MLS. How do wholesalers compete against flippers that can offer more for a property? Relationship.
No.
That's how you do it. Because I mean, listen, here's the thing. If somebody can offer more and close in the same timeline, they're going to get that deal. You are of no service to your cash buyers if they can just buy those deals themselves.
You mean the relationship with the agent?
The relationship with the real estate agent is what gets you those deals. And usually that comes with your ability to over communicate with them. That comes with them just liking you and trusting you to get the job done. And that comes with just when you get a deal, you get it closed. And so if they know it's going to be an easy, guaranteed commission for them, they'll go with you. If it's another flipper that they're like, well, maybe it'll close. Maybe it'll ask for like a bazillion things in the inspection period. Or maybe they'll, they don't really have the money to it. Or maybe they run out of money. Or maybe their funding gets cut off because of market shifts. There's a ton of reasons why people would take lower. It's because they want it to be easier.
And also relationship, that's the key word, relationship. And also that's the same reason why in a regular wholesale deal, a distressed property owner is going to go with one wholesaler over the other.
Oh, 100%. Right. We've done a ton of deals where we've been outbid.
Yep. Yeah.
They're just like, they felt like snakes.
They liked you better.
Yeah.
I trust you.
I didn't, they didn't look me in the eye. They were real shifty. Mm-hmm. They offered me more, but I felt like they weren't really going to give me more.
Relationship.
Like you can do a lot with having a really good personality. You really can. You can do a lot with actually having genuine enthusiasm for this business. You can do a lot by asking that agent. It goes back to last week with Bob Berg, the author of The Go-Giver. What are your goals, agent? How can I help you reach your goals? Because if I can help you reach your goals, your goals are going to be reached. So you help people get as much as they want. You know what I mean? Whatever their passions, their goals, their dreams are, help them get it.
That's why I mentioned that's the power of lead follow-up, which a lot of people don't do, but that's where the relationship is built.
Yep.
With the distressed property and with the agent. It's through either the follow-up, the touch points. That's where it happens.
Nick, I started 2 years ago and wholesaled 12 to 15 deals. Some of them have been small. I've had a few, but 32K like my first deal, but I can't seem to find deals consistently. I am a car salesman. It comes down to two things. What's the model that you're following? And are you really following it? Or are you putting it through the filter of your own experience? That's number one, is follow a proven model. And number two is shiny object. Shiny object. Like I've seen so many people, and I don't know, Nick, and I have 4 kids and I'm a coach and I need to get it out and make the change. Any tips? Yeah. One is just whatever you did to get those 12 to 15 deals, keep doing. Keep doing. And just stay focused. And if you're trying to outsource too fast, it's not going to work. You're going to have to put in the work.
Focus and consistency.
Yeah, focus and consistency.
One of the biggest, I guess, hacks for me on when it came to consistency is think about it this way, right? Like one of the things that takes the most time is that lead generation process. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you don't want to outsource too quick, right? But there's certain things that will take a lot of time, and it's not the highest and best use of our time. So think about what's your highest and best use. Running a wholesale business, besides everything else in your priorities, of course, family and everything else you have going on. But to me, when I plugged in my first cold caller, they start generating leads. Now the machine is running, right? And what happens? I got to catch those leads as they come in. So I'm forced to take action. I'm forced to come in and pick up the phone and have those conversations with them because the lead generation machine is still going. Yep. So, I mean, that to me was one of the biggest hacks for consistency. I didn't even realize it, that it was going to play out like that. So, yeah, keep that in
Focus,
mind.
consistency, motivation. Comes back to accountability. Accountability is about community and mentorship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to be accountable.
Top home buyers. Hey, Brent, I just let go of my 2 phone prospectors and started doing it myself in Mojo. How many numbers should I get if I'm calling 3 hours a day, and how often should I switch them? We switch them once an hour, so 3. Great question. Keep those numbers fresh so that you can have consistent contact rates. Destino, how many driving for dollars leads would you expect someone working part-time to gather for you in a month? It depends. You could do virtual driving for dollars. You can get you could get a teenager to do it, or a VA for $4 an hour. What I would do is I would go into QuickTime or whatever screen recording app you want to use on your computer, and I would do it for a half hour, and then I would send that to a VA and pay them $3-4 an hour to do it, and they can just go while you're sleeping. You know what I mean? And they can get you thousands. I mean, they could get you every ugly house in there. And that's I would use Deal Machine for that. DealMachine.com. Use the coupon code TTP. It's the biggest discount they give. Ross Perot is the politician. Yeah. No, that's not who I'm thinking of. It's not who I'm thinking about. It's a bigger, more recent dude that screamed. I'll think of it. Drop Lab. A deal I was looking for myself is turning into a wholesale deal. Ooh. It might be my first ever real estate deal. Sending my LOI today. Why are you sending a letter of intent? Have you ever sent a letter of intent?
No, we always go for the contract.
Yeah. If you send a letter of intent, you're going to look like an amateur. Who's teaching this? I'm seeing this more and more. Who's teaching LOIs?
Yeah, I don't.
If you send an LOI, I'm really curious to what system tool. Okay. Sorry, everybody just listening to this on the podcast. I'm really curious to know what system tool will give me leads and send texts. Any suggestions? Okay, got it.
Going back to that one, he said he asked for a proposal.
Oh, he asked for a proposal? This is not a serious seller.
I'd like a proposal.
That's not a thing, bro. Something happened in that they're gathering offers to like really take their time with it. If you're going to give a proposal, I would just verbally give them a proposal.
Could you send me a proposal?
What happens often is they'll leverage that against somebody else's purchase agreement, and then get the biggest and best.
Yeah, you can use batch leads. Batch leads still sends out text. We use launch control. It's more expensive, but batch leads has it all built in. You can pull lists, skip trace, and send out text through batch leads. How can I hop on this live with you? We don't have it. We've got only 4 minutes left, Drop Lab. But next time we'll have that available. We'll do that next time. Let's make note. We'll bring on next time for sure. But I would real quick just to put a bow on this. If somebody asks for you to send them a proposal, either in their email or through like mail or something like that, and you've already verbally told them the price, or you've asked them the price, I feel like there's not enough pre-qualifying that's happened. Unless it's a really big deal or it's with an attorney or something, they're just going to leverage that letter of intent. So I wouldn't put together anything in writing. It's just going to get leverage. If they won't get on the phone and you can't just tell them and get their reaction to what you're telling them, you're wasting your time.
If it's a solid lead and you have numbers in there, go for the face-to-face appointment. It's
Yes.
doable. If it's on your backyard,
Yes.
go meet them face-to-face,
Yes.
answer any questions they may have while they're there, and then bring the agreement with you.
That's right.
I mean, that's really how a wholesale deal goes down.
Awesome. Last question. Eric, question. How would a real estate license benefit me wholesaling in Houston, Texas? Thank you, brothers. Great question, Eric. Listen, I think having a real estate license is very powerful. I think that more and more states are going to require a real estate license. I don't know if Texas will. In Arizona, we have to disclose if it's a wholesale deal, which is fine. And little things are happening around the country like that. Not as fast as everybody, predicted it to be.
Was making
like,
it out
oh my
to be,
gosh.
yeah.
Since 2019, people are like, oh, you got to have a license to wholesale in the whole country. Not really. So, but one benefit is you can speak to agents as an agent, and it gives more credibility to you as opposed to just somebody off the street, because they know that you have a code of ethics and been through the code of ethics, and I think that that's important. I also think you can also get access to the MLS. And I'll tell you what, we pull a lot of our lists from the tax records that we have access to from our MLS, and it's fantastic. And we're able to comp with the absolute best comps available because we have access to the MLS. So it's powerful.
You can also get legally paid for referrals if you have a license.
Geez, yeah.
Which is
huge. You can refer out any
Yeah.
listings to other agents or buyers to other agents and get a 35% referral fee. Yeah.
All
Otherwise,
three,
it's a
all three of
felony,
us are
yeah.
licensed.
Yeah.
And have been forever.
He's a broker. He owns a
Isn't it crazy?
brokerage. You know what I mean? So, great questions. Great show, guys. Thank you for joining us. We absolutely love you. Come on in, Hondra. Come on, Daniel. Come on, Matt. Thank you, guys. If you need anything, go to wholesalinginc.com. Wholesalinginc.com. It's got all the resources that you need. Check it out on behalf of Matt and Daniel, Raphael, Mike, Alejandra, and myself. Remember, keep your house clean, protect your health, and increase your value to this world, and you'll live a fantastic life. We'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Love you all.